Western media is not going to show you this video. It's just...
Movement on China, because China says a little bit, look, a little bit, and now they're not doing any business with us, because, not because of them, because of me. Because at 145%, you can't do business.
Obviously. That is our POTUS admitting that, surprise, surprise, he's wrong about the Chinese tariffs. And now they don't want to do business with us. I've been able to deduce that this video was filmed on April 28th, and this is when the interview happened. However, I cannot find this video on any parts of Google, any news media outlets, none of them, conservative or liberal. That's because I don't think this video actually reached us. Which is wild, because don't you think his counterparts would love to put this on blast? All the MAG out there continuously saying, tariffs are gonna work, just wait, just watch. Well, I'm sorry, but Donny Boy, your Lord and Savior, even admitted it. And now we're cut off from doing business with China.
You know what's funny? DJT has tried so much to lie to American people, but American people themselves, they're finding evidence to actually embarrass him that you cannot fool us.
Donald Trump is publicly begging President Xi to call him. And President Xi is not calling. The president of China is not picking up the phone. He's sending out a spokesperson to say, we'll fight to the end. No one in the Trump administration has said, we will fight to the end. Donald Trump wouldn't dare say today, we will fight to the end. His Treasury Secretary didn't dare say, we'll fight to the end. His usually clownish Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, wouldn't dare say, we'll fight to the end, because they won't, because they've already lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Natskona S. If you're new here, hi, welcome. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, like, comment, and share. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, I want to appreciate all of you, my new people. Was sick for a couple of days, but I'm back to live. Thank you so much for your love and support. Now, DJT came out lying to people. And the people that he lied to, they already have receipts. See, some American people live in China, okay? And I think the Trump administration has really looked down on American people thinking they're not smart, all right? Like, I think the DJT administration really thinks all American people consume is Western culture. They're not interested in knowing what's happening in other countries. Or even, I really think the Trump administration thinks Americans are so stupid, they don't speak other languages, okay? This man went to China and he started apologizing to Chinese people. He recognized the problem that he's having and he recognized the trouble that he has made for American people. Just for him to come back to America and lie to Americans that, oh, everything is well. Meanwhile, the people, Americans that understand the Chinese language and call the news in China, they're exposing him that, hey, yo, bro, you're lying. You are lying. Here are the receipts. This is what you said. And meanwhile, the Trump administration is out here trying to cover up everything that he's doing. He's saying his apologies, everything. He's trying to pay nice himself out there. Yeah, people are so done with Donald Trump. Americans are so done with Donald Trump. Yeah, Americans are so done with DJT. They want nothing to do with this man. Like, and American people have literally seen how this man takes things for granted. Like, ladies and gentlemen, as you watch this video, I want you guys to tell me, what do you think DJT takes Americans for? Because this man really thinks he's the one. Like, he really thinks he's ruling people that are clueless about the world. They're clueless about anything that happens around the world. They are clueless about everything that he is doing. Like, DJT really thinks Americans are... I don't get it. This guy is weird upstairs.
And now you're seeing what Trump's trying to do. He's trying to destroy China. Because if you break the Chinese economy, you put America back on top. Remember, the Chinese thought they were going to overtake us. It's not going to happen if this thing goes through. If you can cut off their exports, they're toast. You can't export all these cheap products here. You're definitely not going to sell them into Europe because they don't have the consumer power. And so the Chinese economy, they can't consume their own stuff because they don't have enough wealth and they don't have enough families, to be honest with you. And so you're going to have to lay people off, and then the whole country is going to disintegrate. So that's a good thing. And then you're breaking China off from Russia because this Chinese economy is feeding the Russians. And right now you drop oil to $60 a barrel. So it starves Putin's war machine. And then you separate those two countries. So look what we're doing also at the same time in the Middle East. You have the Syrians, now they're on our side. They're proxies, now ours. And then you have carriers surrounding the Iranians. And we're saying you better negotiate, not nuke up, or we'll bomb.
It's funny how this man went ahead and talked about how Chinese people don't have family, they don't have a population, which is a straight out lie because we all know China is the most populated country in the world, right?
I just saw a dude say that China doesn't have the cards to win a trade war against the USA, buddy. China invented the cards. They made the game that we're playing with the cards. The cards in our hand were manufactured by China. And when China decides to stop giving us cards, we're not going to be playing with anything. I'm begging you guys to pick up literally any book. At this point, pick up literally any book.
China will lose the US market, which as I've said is 15%.
We don't care. We don't care. China has been here for 5,000 years. Most of the time, there was no United States, and we survived.
In Beijing, they're not reading Donald Trump's Art of the Deal. They're reading Sun Tzu's Art of War. And the reason the Chinese are going to win this trade war is because they have a completely different understanding of the nature of time. In America, time is money. It's a resource used to generate profit. That's why Americans get less paid leave than any other developed country in the world. But in China, time is something used to plan, to strategize, to get to know your enemy. Probably the best example of this is the Belt and Road Initiative. Started in 2013, the Chinese have spent $1.2 trillion on 3,000 infrastructure projects in 150 countries. Now, it will take decades for them to see a return on that investment. But the Chinese know that by putting that money in now, they will be able to develop markets and get access to resources which will last for centuries. Contrast this with America, which spent about the same amount of money invading Iraq and now has nothing to show for it. Even creating this app was a masterstroke on the part of the Chinese. They've developed something which will reduce Westerners' attention spans even further. And it's fascinating to see that Trump's defenders don't even have the attention span to follow through their own argument towards its logical conclusion. Here's somebody saying that 10 million jobs being lost in China would be massive. That would change everything. What they don't realize, and what the Chinese do realize, is that those 10 million jobs will go if China gives in on the trade war. That's the purpose of the trade war, remember, is to move jobs from China to America. China knows it will definitely lose if it gives in. So it's prepared to hold on for a bit. It can hold on for 10 years, 20 years, because it knows that in 5,000 years, it will have benefited if it says no to America now. Sun Tzu's Art of War was written 500 years before Jesus was born. That gives you an idea of the length and the depth of Chinese culture. So whereas Americans like Donald Trump say that time is money, we need to make profit right now, Sun Tzu says, if you stand on the riverbank for long enough, the bodies of your enemies will float by. Good luck, America.